The year 2030 is less than a decade away, yet the scope of change arriving in those few years exceeds the technological shifts of the entire previous century. This line graph maps our biological struggle to predict the future. We naturally expect progress to move at this steady, linear pace, but technology builds on its own successes exponentially. These two paths are on a collision course that peaks in 2030. We are currently positioned at the base of the curve's steepest climb. In the next few years, the rate of advancement becomes nearly vertical as separate breakthroughs begin to feed into one another. To understand this shift, we have to look past the weekly cycle of software updates and consumer gadgets. We must focus on 5 foundational pillars. These pillars represent systemic changes to our biology, our intelligence, and our planet's resources. The first sphere of impact is the human body. By 2030, the distinction between a person and their tools begins to fade as technology moves from something we hold to something we integrate. CRISPR gene editing is the first pillar. This technology treats biological DNA as a sequence of code that can be searched, cut, and rewritten with surgical precision. Clinical medicine is shifting from temporary treatments toward permanent genetic corrections. By locating the specific sequence responsible for a condition, we can rewrite the error at the cellular level. The second pillar, brain-computer interfaces, connects the mind to digital systems. These interfaces move beyond physical screens, relying instead on direct neural translation. By 2030, these systems will enable high-bandwidth data transfer between the human brain and external networks, allowing for the exchange of information at the speed of thought. When we could edit our own biological blueprints and link our consciousness to global data, the biological definition of human becomes a variable rather than a constant. As individual capabilities expand, the structures of society, how we work and solve problems, must reorganize to match this new speed. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI, is the third pillar. It serves as the cognitive engine for this 2030 economy. Unlike narrow AI, which is limited to specific tasks like translation or image recognition, AGI can apply logic across different domains, handling complex cognitive labor that previously required human oversight. To power this intelligence, we need the fourth pillar, quantum computing. Where a classical computer tries one path at a time in a maze, a quantum system tests every path simultaneously, instantly shattering the locked data vault of complex mathematical problems. This combination allows us to simulate millions of molecular interactions or chemical reactions in minutes, removing the slow physical trial and error that has defined the last century of laboratory research. Scaling these data centers and genetic labs requires an immense amount of electricity, creating a physical bottleneck that current power grids cannot support. The fifth pillar, next-generation fusion, is the proposed solution to this global energy deficit. Fusion replicates the process powering the sun. Inside this vacuum chamber, magnetic fields suspend swirling plasma, fusing isotopes to release clean energy without carbon emissions. Achieving viable fusion would decouple national prosperity from the geography of oil and gas deposits, dismantling the energy-based leverage that has dictated global power dynamics for decades. With a limitless supply of clean energy, we gain the physical capacity to power the climate engineering projects necessary to stabilize the environment. By 2030, these 5 technologies will no longer exist as separate fields of study. They form a single loop. Quantum computers accelerate the AGI that maps the proteins for CRISPR, all of which are sustained by the massive output of fusion reactors. We are entering a phase where our tools are no longer external additions to our lives, but integrated components of our species' development. These advancements are not self-directing forces of nature. They are systems designed by people, and their impact depends entirely on the guardrails we build today. Understanding these 5 pillars is the first step in ensuring that by 2030, these technologies serve to expand human potential rather than restrict it.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and check out this one right here. See you next time.